I'm Marty. I'm the founder of Digital Ninja Consulting, which is a consulting firm that is all about saving people time and energy so that they can use the digital tools that they already use in a masterful way, and that they can get to the things that matter most in their life. One of the biggest things is organizing all these files. So I have a couple questions to start off with. One, in this last week, have you spent more than a minute looking for a file?
Yes.
Perhaps even 5 minutes looking for a file?
Yes.
Or maybe worse of all, you didn't find a file at all, right? And you had to ask a coworker, or perhaps you had to email somebody, or worst of all things, you had to go and actually recreate the file from scratch, which is obviously going to be more than 5 minutes. Many people and many of my clients have suffered from this. I have one client, Elaine, that had the downloads folder and desktop look like the kitchen junk drawer. You know what the kitchen junk drawer is? You just shove everything in that kitchen junk drawer and it's unorganized and you clean it out when you move out of the house, right? So people give up on these parts of their computing and their digital world. Part of the reason this happens is because they don't understand the logic. So I want to give you an idea of what you can get if you get the logic down. I want you to think about how many times in a day you could spend up to 5 minutes looking for a file. Some people that actually have a lot of paperwork, like Dylan here, I know has a lot of paperwork, could probably spend upwards of 10 times looking for a file in a day. If it takes 5 minutes per file, that's an hour a day at least. That's 5 hours a week. That's a lot of time. With Digital Ninja Consulting, we actually take and teach people how to do this so that they can find a file in 30 seconds. Meaning that you can spend 15 minutes a week instead. How many people here would like to spend 15 minutes rather than 5 hours in a week? Do you think you could get some productivity out of that? Perhaps you could get to things that matter most to you? All right, so you need to understand a couple things. This is because this all happened because we got rid of the file cabinets and we went digital. Now some of you may still have file cabinets and paper, as was pointed out to me last time I was here. But all of us have digital lives now, and all of us have digital files. Whether you're using Dropbox or Google Drive or you're just using your home computer, you struggle with this occasionally. We want to think back to the days of using file cabinets. Remember those things? Right? You'd walk into your office and there'd be a bank of file cabinets. Then there might be some file cabinets in the HR office, maybe in the operations department. And then you would find all the files you need in these file cabinets. And there'd be organization based on it. Well, it's really simple. File cabinet is a department. That would be your first level of folders in your digital world. The next level of folders is fairly simple. Inside that department, there are drawers in that file cabinet. Those are your subdivisions. Right? We still haven't actually put files in anything yet. We're just getting the second level of file folders down because if you just shove papers in those drawers with no organization, you've got the kitchen junk drawer back, right? So what we need next is those little hang folders. You remember those things with the tabs on the end of it where you can put some labels on them? It's really easy to understand in the HR department because you would have an HR cabinet with drawers for maybe employees. And in that employees, you would actually organize it by the employee. So that would be your hang folders. Now, you could actually just take those files and throw them in those hang folders. That would be your first level of organization in your digital life. Company, file cabinet, department, the drawers of how we organize it, and then finally those hang files. Now, if you get a little bit more detailed, maybe you start finding that you have 3 to 5 files of the same kind of grouping. That's where those old manila folders kind of come into play. Remember those? Now they're all sorts of colors. But you can actually start grouping things in manila folders. These are the most flexible part of your organization that you can actually have in your digital world. You can actually put 30 of those in a hang folder. You put 5 of those. You put none of those. It doesn't matter. The last thing that you need for your digital world is naming the file correctly. Because back in the day, it was easy enough to go to the file cabinet, open up a drawer, hunt through what you need, and pull out the file you're looking for. Now we have tons of files, right? Who here stores music and video, as well as the papers that you have and all the documents you get, possibly some emails, all these types of things. So if we had this actual file cabinet, it could be huge. It takes a little bit of time to hunt for these. So what we do, we actually create a file naming convention. We use keywords and then we use the search function. So it's a lot to take in. I want to give you the few things that you need to focus on. Number one thing is focus on what departments you have. What are the subcategories of what you do in your world? Whether it's personal and it's music and you have alternative and rock and jazz, or it's your business and you have HR and you have operations and you have sales. And then I want you to think about how you would subdivide that, maybe by your team and the rest of that, and pick a layer of organization. That's as far as you want to go. Just get to the hang folders. If you can get that far in your organized life, you can take that 5 minutes that it took you to find those files down to about 30 seconds. We teach this all day long with a lot of success with our clients. And when they get those 5 hours back, all of a sudden I get these terrible phone calls. What'd you do to me? I talk to Elaine, I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, I don't know what to do with all this time I have. I'm like, how about you do some of the work that matters? She's like, I don't want to do that work. I was happy looking for it. These problems happen with our email, they happen with our calendar, they happen with our file. So always think back to those good old days of file cabinets, and always think back to how am I going to find these files quickly and easily in the future. Thanks for your time.